Hello students, let's learn correlation. Correlation is used to determine the strength and direction of a linear relationship between two continuous variables. Two continuous variables could be serum vitamin D level and two continuous variables could be serum vitamin D and serum calcium level, serum TSH and serum T4 level, state literacy rate and infant mortality rate. When we categorize the serum vitamin D level from less than 10 nanogram per deciliter and more than 10 nanogram per deciliter, and serum calcium also less than 5 milligram per deciliter and more than 5 milligram per deciliter, then we cannot use correlation because it will be a categorical variable. Now, how to estimate this strength and direction of relationship? Pearson correlation coefficient values, as denoted by R, is used to determine the strength and direction of relationship. Now, what are the properties of correlation coefficient R? This correlation coefficient measure the strength of a linear relationship. The sign of the correlation coefficient tells about the direction of the relationship. The magnitude of the correlation coefficient R tells about the strength, which ranges from -1 to +1. But correlation never imply causation. The value of correlation coefficient R tells us regarding the strength of association. If the value is from 0.1 to 0.3, we call it as a small correlation. If the value is from 0.3 to 0.5, we call moderate correlation. And if the value of R is more than 0.5, we call it as strong correlation. There is another term known as the coefficient of determination. The coefficient of determination is the proportion of variance in one variable that is explained by the other variable, and it is calculated as square of the correlation coefficient known as R square. Now there are few assumptions which we need to satisfy before we apply correlation. The first assumption is the two variables should be on continuous scale as we have seen initially. There needs to be a linear relationship between the two variables as we check this on scatter plot. There shouldn't be any significant outlier as correlation is very sensitive to outlier, and we need to satisfy the assumption of normality for Pearson correlation coefficient, because if the data is not normal, we need to put the Spearman correlation. This is a picture which shows the difference between the linear relationship and non-linear relationship. You can see in the graph first and second, there is a linear relationship with a positive direction and with a negative direction, whereas the third and the fourth graph shows the non-linear relationship. Now let's run this test on SPSS. So this is a data set on Worcester Heart Attack Study. There are many variables as you can see here: age, gender, race, socioeconomic status. There is a BMI, there is a heart rate, there is a cholesterol value. So we need to check. So if we need to check the relationship between body mass index and cholesterol, if we need to check the relationship between body mass index and cholesterol, what test should be applied? Since both BMI and cholesterol are continuous variable and we need to find the relationship between the two, the right choice would be the Pearson correlation. But we have seen that before we start with the actual test, we need to satisfy the assumption. So the first assumption was the both variable should be on continuous scale. So both BMI and cholesterol is on continuous scale. The second is we have to see the linear relationship. The second is we have to see the linear relationship between the two variables, which we see by the scatter plot. So to see the scatter plot, click on this graph, chart builder. Then this pop-up window will appear. In the gallery, there are many options. Click on the scatter plot. Click on this type of graph. Then this window will appear. Here we need to check the relationship between the BMI and cholesterol. So there are two axes here, x-axis and y-axis. Usually when we check the correlation, there is no such rule that which will be on the x-axis and which variable will be on the y-axis. But generally, we take the dependent variable on x-axis. But generally, we take the independent variable on x-axis and dependent variable on y-axis. So here the BMI will be the independent variable. So I'll click on BMI. So it will be dragged here. Press it till the outer border of this becomes red and then drop it. Similarly, serum cholesterol level, drag and drop till the outer box becomes red in color. Now come to this element property. Here we need to change the y-axis, the minimum point to 0, because then this axis it will take values from 0. So I need to click this apply and then OK. So this is the scatter plot you can see, and it is roughly showing the linear relationship between the two variables. These are the outliers which you can see. So it is up to us what to do with this outlier. We can proceed with these outlier. So the second assumption is tested, that there is linear relationship between the two variables. Now we have to check for the normality. So for checking normality, click on this option Analyze, Descriptive, and then Explore. So here you can see we have to check the normality of both BMI and serum cholesterol. So I'll drop these two variables in the dependent list. Since I only want the plots, so I click the plots, click on this none in the box plot option, uncheck this descriptive and check this normality plot with test. Then press this continue. And then click on OK. So you can see here that there is a case processing summary which is showing the missing value, as there is no missing value, it is 0. And these are the two tests of normality. Usually we use Shapiro-Wilk test. So Shapiro-Wilk test, the null assumption, the null hypothesis in Shapiro-Wilk test is that the data is normally distributed. So if it is significant, then we will reject this null hypothesis. That shows if the value of this statistics of Shapiro-Wilk test is less than 0.05, we say that the data is not normally distributed. So the p-value is not desirable here for us. So this Shapiro-Wilk test shows that the data is not normally distributed. But the validity of this Shapiro-Wilk test is usually when the sample size is less than 50. Since the sample size here is 194, we will use the QQ plot to check for the normality. And if we see the QQ plot of BMI and QQ plot of cholesterol, we can see that both are normally distributed as seen by a linear line. So we have checked for the continuous nature of the data, we have checked for the linear relationship between the two variables by scatter plot, and we have checked whether the data is normally distributed or not, and we have satisfied all these three assumptions. Now we need to apply the correlation. So click on this option, analyze, correlate, bivariate. Few variables have been entered here, so I'll reset this. I need to check the serum cholesterol, and BMI. Since the data is normally distributed, this by default it is Pearson, two-tailed, and check this flag significant correlation. Now press this OK. So here you will see the summary table. You can see that the correlation between the BMI and serum cholesterol is 0.7, which is of strong in nature, and it is positive because it is with a plus sign, and it is significant at 0.01 level. If we want to test for coefficient of determination, then we can see that 0.7 will be so we have seen that the coefficient of determination is r square. So we can see here that the 0.7 multiplied by 0.7 will be 0.49, and if we convert this into percentage, then it will be 49%. So we can say that 49% of the variation in cholesterol can be explained by the variation in BMI. That's the interpretation of body mass. That's the interpretation of coefficient of determination. So in the interpretation of result, we can write here that there was a statistical significant strong positive correlation between BMI and cholesterol concentration, where the R is 0.7, P is less than 0.005, with BMI explaining 49% of the variation concentration. And this is the table where we can enter the value of correlation coefficient and the p-value, and we can write the interpretation. So this was the correlation between the two continuous variable. If we want to check the correlation between the multiple variable, the process is same. we can come to this analyze option, then correlate, bivariate, and apart from this, we can enter more variable like we can enter heart rate, we can enter SBP, and then again OK. So we can see here that a correlation matrix will appear which will show the various value of correlation coefficient between the two variable. Like between the serum cholesterol and heart rate, you can see that there is a negative correlation with the value of 0.004. Similarly, between the heart rate and BMI, if we see, then the value is 0.042. And if we see the systolic blood pressure and BMI, then this is the correlation coefficient. This is between the serum cholesterol and systolic blood pressure, and this is the heart rate and systolic blood pressure. So there are multiple values of correlation coefficient, and we can enter this in the table like this, where we can see we can enter the various level of where we can enter the various value of correlation coefficient along with their sign and interpretation. So that's the overall testing of continuous variable using correlation, and correlation never and causality can never be assessed or tested using correlation. So